Hello and welcome back once again, reptile enthusiasts. I'm Ryan. I'll be your host for this short episode. Just finished completing an episode on Phantom, or heterozygous piebald female named of Raven. Um, I missed a couple of days there on the weekend. I'm trying to catch up on videos right now, so I'm just going to fire a couple off, get them on there, and introduce you to the collection so we can continue our progress into the breeding season. Who I have with me right now is, well, she has no name. So, those of you out there who'd like to suggest any names, she is our absolutely gorgeous Superfly. She's super pastel fire. She is fantastic little snake. Little snake. She's sitting around 1400. Actually, she's a little heavier than that. I gotta double check on the scales there. I'll weigh her back up. I haven't weighed her since beginning of November there. But absolutely gorgeous snake. If you look at the coloration on this, she's nice yellow coloration. Very, very calm demeanor as well, like all the other ones. With the exception of Sword. She was a little bit of a pain when she was young, but all of them seem to be doing very well right now. Absolutely beautiful coloration. You can see with the super pastel, it bumps out the yellow colorations, fades out some of the black colorations, brings out some of the pastels in the coloration, and then the fire again brings out the vibrancy of the color as well. Yeah, not much else to tell on her. The breeding prospects I have with Superfly here is if Omaha, as I mentioned, Omaha, he's a little bit on the lighter side. He's over about 400 grams right now. So he's still small and he's still maybe not quite mature enough to breed. Kind of testing fate right now. I'm going to watch it for his health. So if he does, okay, we'll start off. I'm going to put him in a breeding cycle with Raven and unnamed Superfly right here. And if he starts to lose any weight or I start to worry about him at all, I'll pull him right into the cycles and just make sure he is eating well before we continue on. The reason I'm starting it on is he's eating like a machine right now. He's extremely friendly. He's getting some good size on him, and I believe he'll do okay. Out of the videos I've seen, there's been people who said they've bred males as small as 350 grams, and then people say you went up to 700 grams. That comes to maturity as well, because some of the snakes, if you put them in at a smaller size, they just might not know what to do if they're on their first season or they're a little bit younger. So you want to ensure that the snake is ready to go, and you'll be able to continue on from there. So I'm going to try pairing him up with Raven, as mentioned, and that'll be to get the piebald gene to pop and get some young with that genetic plan. And the second project is with Superfly here, the Super Pastel Fire. As I also mentioned, with the coloration we have in Omaha, he looks like he has a potential of a fire gene. And I don't know if that's me looking for it or if it actually exists. If you can go back into the other videos there with Omaha in them, the actual specific video about Omaha, you can take a look at him and see for yourself if you believe potentially fire. I've cross-referenced his color pattern and the intensity of his color with other ball pythons online, and to me he seems to resemble more of a fire morph than a regular. He's extremely bright, the color pattern with the edges and the pixelation with the saddling, he looks more like a fire to me than anything else. Especially I do have a submature piebald female, and the coloration doesn't look at all the same. I will have her out in one of the upcoming episodes, and I'll actually do a side-by-side with Omaha and her, and for a cross comparison. That being said, the reason to breed him with Superfly is with the fire gene. As mentioned before, if you haven't seen those videos or if you're not aware of the fire gene, if you breed two fires together, you'll get a bell, for lack of a better term. It'll actually be black eye leucistic, but a lot of times you'll still get gold coloration markings along the dorsal, like a gold line. Sometimes you can get pure white, but a lot of times they'll have little gold speckling or markings on them from there. As you can see, Superfly here is extremely chilled, extremely relaxed. Can't see her head, she's tucking around my hood right there. There we go. Very calm, nice and docile, just like all the other ones. They're fantastic pet. absolutely in love with the colorations here. I love the tail line coming up here along the dorsal there, almost all the way up to the halfway point body of the body mark. I'm stumbling over my words here, don't mind me. Um, but yes, I'm very excited to get, if Omaha starts breeding, get him to pair up with the Superfly here and see what we get. Worst case scenario, we'll get some heterozygous for piebald snakes, mixing in some pastel and fire into the mix, which would produce some stunning babies. Because even if you just get pastel or super pastel offspring, extremely gorgeous looking snakes. Same with the fire gene. The fire gene is a very nice gene on its own, but once you start adding it to other genes, it becomes so complementary that it just makes certain genes pop very, very well. And I'll be looking forward to that. If you have any suggestions, feel free to put them in the comments below. If there's any kind of genetic crossings you'd be interested in either discussing or potentially having us add into our projects, just let us know and we'll take a look at it and see what we can do. It's not a fast thing, obviously. We got to go from year to year for clutch to clutch. I hope to keep doing this with you through at that time, and we'll go video by video. Some may be more interesting than others. I'll be extremely excited once we start getting into the all different phases. For the first phase will be the introductions, which I've already started, and I've mentioned that. And I will show you what I'm doing and what I've read up and seen in research for how to introduce the two snakes together, what you'll be looking for, timelines you'd want to do this for, and different things you want to keep in mind while you are doing this. From there, that's a pretty exciting point, waiting for the snakes to actually lock. And by locking is copulating, they're wrapping the tails around each other with the cloacas basically touching to copulate and entice the female to develop some eggs, first follicles to develop into the eggs. The next main phase will be once the ovulation occurs in the females. Hopefully I can catch that when it happens, and we'll be able to show you the difference between normal and then when they start to ovulate, just a difference in size, followed by the actual egg laying itself, which I'm really looking forward to. I've never dealt with it on snakes. I've done with lizards and that, but not with snakes, and really looking forward to that. From there, I intend to incubate. There are some people who say you can keep the eggs with the females because they will obviously they will take care of the eggs. They'll wrap around them and they'll be able to maintain the temperature. They'll come off, they'll regulate their body temperature and keep the eggs where they need to be with the high humidity they need. Some people will do this. I'm not going to try this for my first time. I've already purchased an incubator online. Don't know how good it's going to be. And for the amount of eggs potentially I'll be getting, I'm not sure. I'll get more into that as we get into the process. And then with the incubation, approximately 55-60 days later, we'll be looking at the actual hatching, and I'm extremely excited to be able to get that onto video for you guys once it occurs. We'll be able to see what pops out with the different genetics we're going to be getting into. We'll see what ones we potentially hold back, what ones we'll potentially sell. We'll just be in awe and looking at the babies, looking at the absolute beautiful colorations they have. A lot of times the babies have such vibrant colorations. They tend to fade as they get a little bit older. Some tend to get a little bit brighter. But either way, I'm really looking forward to that process. So once again, just to recap, this is Superfly, the Super Pastel Fire combination. She's an absolutely adorable snake. Beautiful eyes on her. Like a yellowish black coloration. I'll see if I can get that in the camera for you. If not, I'll see if I can get a little bit later. Absolutely gorgeous deer. Absolutely beautiful snake. And the intent with her is, once again, breed her with Omaha, and we'll see what kind of young we can get from that. All right. Absolutely gorgeous. Now with the other, same thing with the other videos. If you have any questions or comments, any kind of advice or anything like that, just please leave it in the comments below. I'd like it if you could subscribe, share this channel. We'll see if we can grow. If not, I'm going to still keep doing this, but the more we grow, the better it'll be. And I've already gotten a few subscribers who are other reptile enthusiasts who have their own channels, who have a fair amount of their own animals. I appreciate all the subscribers I have right now, all the support I've received right now. Keep it up. Fantastic. And for those of you who have your own channels, keep up the content. All right. Have a fantastic day. I'll see you later.